What's the drunkest you've ever been?
I didn't get out of control. I would get fucked up. My friends always told me that they couldn't tell the difference. Like I don't have like a.
It's a good trait to have.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
You got the drunk eyes. Yeah. There was one time I was at the Drift in the Hamptons, greatest summer bar of all time, and I got introduced to Jameson bombs. It was like Jaeger bombs were like, you know, a thing, but they were on their way out. And this guy was giving me Jameson bombs, JMO bombs, and it was Barstool had like started. It was like 2010, 11-ish, so it was like just started, but it was big enough in that community that so these bartenders knew me, and they were just, and I felt like that was actually the only time I would get peer pressured is people would buy me shots, and I always said yes to them.
I cannot say no.
Yeah, and so I remember I was out on my feet, and it was the drunkest I've ever been, and by chance my crew was leaving the bar, and they found me.
Ever been?
Yeah, I mean, I remember like standing like just up against the wall, and they just like scooped me up, and it was like. I think my cousin had just died, and I remember like we were on a cab ride home. I was like crying. Like, why am I still here? My friends. I think I really don't get like that. So I think my friends are like, "What the fuck is going on?" That was probably the drunkest I've ever been.
I went to the hospital once.
Did you?
Yeah, to my first birthday.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
Did you get your stomach pumped?
No, I woke
the
up
charcoal?
I woke up still so drunk, and like then the guy next to me.
Yeah.
So then I was talking because then I was on a party bus, and I was like, they're like the guy I was in love with. I was like, John was there. He definitely saw me being so drunk, and then the guy next to me had just tried to kill himself because like his daughter he was being like taken away from him and like whatever. And he
How
just
old
goes,
were you?
Wait, daughter?
I was 21. But like he was like next to me, and he just goes, "Yo, bitch, shut
in
the
the hospital.
fuck up! Problems ain't shit, bitch." And then every time
Your crush saw you a little drunk.
Yeah.
I'm losing my family over here.
and I think about that every single time. And now whenever I like have a problem, I go, "Shut the fuck up! Your problems ain't shit." Bitch.
The drunkest I've ever been, which I don't have one, but I'm pretty sure I got roofied because like
Didn't make sense.
I've gotten extremely drunk a million times. I'm always fine, but it was like my friends were like, we didn't know what happened to you, and it was in Newport, and then they just found me asleep in a bush by the pizza place. And then when they got me up, they realized my head was split open.
Oh yeah,
and they had to take me to the hospital.
The amount of times that like
give me like staples and
all
shit
the
like
shit
that.
died, stuff like that. You know?
Dude,
My
if
buddy-
I was actively trying to kill myself for
Yeah.
a long time. It's
Yeah.
impossible to die.
Dude,
It's so hard.
Famous last words. You're gonna hit by a bus on the way out
my
of here.
friend fell down a flight of stairs that had to be like 30 steps to get up to our apartment. We were on like the 3rd floor, but it was just 2 flights of stairs. So it was really like 2 stories of steps each way. It was like the 3rd or 4th floor. So it was like double stairs. And I remember I actually I bought like one of those Sony like handheld cameras. It was almost like a flip
I
thing
remember
before
those.
phones. And I took it out with us one night, and I lost the footage. I would give anything to have it back. And I was filming. He was so hammered all night. We were driving by the George Washington Bridge, and he was screaming, "George, fuck you, George!" And we get like I'm ahead of him, and I was filming him as we walk up the steps, and we got to the very top, and he just went, "Timber!" and like just fell back and like tried to grab the railing, and I just watched him like boom, 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 and I was like, my friend's dead.
Yeah.
Like, he's fucking dead. And he just got up like, no
Guys, we gotta
problem.
go.
Like, I think when you're that drunk, you're just loosey-goosey. I don't know what it was. Like, he was fine. I could not fucking believe it.
Dude,
Yeah.
when you think back on like there's a lot of deaths that didn't happen.
My other friend went to an active construction site, was like walking on like cinder blocks, fell, and the rebar went through his shirt. Like, like rebar, that metal. Like, he fell, like, it could have 1 inch to the right, it would have gone through him, and he would have just been like impaled in a fucking construction site. I
had that happen once where it was
He was just wandering around by himself.
I laugh. It is funny. They find him dead.
Yeah.
we were drinking on a roof, and my buddy was like
Smart.
hanging over and slipped and fell, and I was on the other side of the roof, and I could hear him screaming, and I could see his hands.
How high were you talking?
Like
Dead if you fall?
like 30 feet, 20 feet.
Okay.
And I mean,
the
not
scar
You're
far
breaking
from
your
Lion
legs,
King?
though. Like,
Like
it's bad.
20
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
And I so vividly remember this, and I was sprinting across the roof like hoping to get him, and I watched the hand slip,
No.
and I was like, oh my fucking, I'm like, fucking run. And I get my head over the edge, and he's just laying on his back laughing. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? You scared me. He's like, what the fuck? You let me fall.
I had one of my best drinking buddy in high school. We had a house party. It was during the summer. He woke up. He was working as a janitor at the local elementary schools.
I used to be a
So it
janitor.
was summertime, and they were like getting the school ready, cleaning it up for like whatever little community thing was going on there. So we wake up in the morning, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm late." Runs to work, does not realize that someone had shaved a strip down his head.
No.
So he has like a chunk of his hair missing. And the guys are like janitors, like blue collar union guys. They're like getting a kick out of it. They're working on the roof that day, and he's throwing garbage bags. Like they need to move garbage bags from here to there. And at one time he grabbed it and he like spun around with it, and he threw it and lost his balance and like falls off the fucking roof into like a pile of garbage with his head half shaved. And we like kind of had an intervention for him. We were like 18 years old, being like, "You got to slow down, bro."
There's